Hello. Today I bring a very special piece on poetry at Pratyancha. The piece is by William Shakespeare and it is a part of his play called Macbeth. Macbeth, a very dark play, and therein he explores that how time takes its toll on individuals, on beauty, on lives, on everything that we know around us. And time is so powerful that everything else seems to pale in comparison. It seems as if there is no way that we can deal with the strength of time or that we can defeat it in any way whatsoever. So life itself seems pointless. This is what this particular piece explores, and it is entitled Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. William Shakespeare, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. The passing of time is such a fact for human life or for existence that we cannot step out of it even for a second, even for a nanosecond. Constantly it is passing by. The ephemerality of it all, the transitory nature of life sometimes bothers us. Of things, of relationships, of people aging, it bothers us. Then why does time take a toll on everything? And taking a toll or not is besides the point. The fact is that its journey is endless. It just continues and continues and continues and never giving us any respite from its continual movement. And this is what Shakespeare is exploring here. And like I said, this is a part from Macbeth. The piece has a very pessimistic tone. The piece has a philosophical tone, but in that it is filled with sadness. It feels as if life is pointless because we are subject to the tyranny of time. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty face from day to day. From one day to the other, we just go on with life, and he calls the face petty, very small when compared to the enormity of time, when compared to the sheer power of time. He says that our face, our lives, from one day to the other, just creep in, and we don't even realize. And that is why he uses the word creep here, as if silently one day is turning into another day, and before we know, it's a week, and it's a month, and finally a year, and then a decade, and eventually life ends. It just day after day, time is just passing by, and we creep as if from one day to another, very silently, very unnoticeably, time passes. And then he says, to the last syllable of recorded time. Last syllable, this is a metaphor basically implying that imagine our lives to be stories, and finally there is the last word to that story, the last syllable of the last word where the story ends. Similarly, our lives are going to end one day like a story ends, and to this last syllable of time, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow will keep coming endlessly, and finally our lives would end. The day we are born, we start to age. The day we are born, we start to take a step closer to death every day of our lives. And this is what he's saying, that from one tomorrow to another, our faces, our lives creep into day after day after day to the last syllable of time, or that is to the last day of our lives, or the end of the story of our life. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. And if you look back, all that our yesterdays, our past has done is that it has shown us the way to this dusty death. Why does he call it dusty? We gather dust over time. We age. We gather a lot of things in us which perhaps do not leave us fresh enough. And therefore he says it's a dusty thing that yesterdays add to our today, and then eventually these yesterdays show us the life to death, show us the life to the end of our lives. Out, out, brief candle. So life is like a brief candle. It just is illuminated for only a very small amount of time, and finally it is put off because tomorrow after tomorrow we soon reach death, and the candle as if is blown off. Then he says, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player. It seems as if human life is just a shadow of the greater reality. It is a poor player. It has no power. It is just a walking shadow. It keeps moving on, but it just remains a shadow. It remains poor, though it is a player in the course of existence. And this player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage. Shakespeare's favorite metaphor was that he imagined the world as a stage and all the people who exist as actors, as players who come, play their part on stage, have their moment in the limelight, and then go away, fade into the oblivion of death. Similarly, here again he uses this metaphor and he says that life is a poor player and everyone comes, struts and frets. Struts, they show what they're made of, they fret, that means they worry about things, and then they have their hour, their time upon the stage, and soon the time is over and they have to leave. And then is heard no more. So a person comes on the stage, plays the part, and is heard no more. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. This line captures the enormity of pessimism in the poem. Shakespeare says here that life looks like a story which is told by an idiot. We are idiots. We have no clue what is the structure of reality. We have no clue as to what is the truth of reality, and we cannot power over time. So life is a tale told by an idiot. We're complete idiots in the face of time, in the face of reality. Life is this tale told by an idiot. It's full of sound and fury. Yes, there is a lot of noise you produce to say this story, to speak out the parts of the story, the stages of the story. It's filled with fury. There are times when you worry, there are times when you get angry, and yet it signifies nothing. We are just a little bit of time in this world alive, and then we're gone. It really signifies nothing. The poem also is an attack on our egos, on our this sense of I, that we rule the world, or that we have acquired so much, or that we've achieved so much, compared to the enormity of the existence of space and time in the cosmos. We are nothing but the blink of an eye. We are nothing but really the flicker of a candle. And this is what Shakespeare wishes to say here in his piece, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, from Macbeth. This is a new playlist on the Pratyancha channel entitled William Shakespeare. If you like this video, do subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click on the bell icon so that you do not miss an update. If you wish to tell me something, kindly comment in the comment box below. And start following this playlist today on the Pratyancha channel, William Shakespeare. Thank you. I'll see you again.